June 26, 2026, A Meditative Life. Faith that moves mountains. Beloved saints, are you abiding into the peace of the Lord today? As we walk the unfamiliar and long journey of life, everyone, without exception, faces various kinds of mountains that stand gigantically blocking our path. That mountain sometimes visits us with the face of extreme loneliness and despair, and sometimes overwhelms us into the form of crushing physical pain, mental stress, deep sorrow, or endless economic destitution. Most of these mountains of life placed before us are so high and rugged that they seem absolutely impossible to cross or overcome with shallow human wisdom and ability. Therefore, we often become frightened beforehand and shrink into the small shell of our own limitations, hiding under the shadow of the massive mountain. Today, through the desperate yet touching confession of a saint named Bertha Leasley, we realize the amazing spiritual secret of how to move this massive mountain that seems impossible to overcome. The massive mountain that darkly blocked her path was lack of self-confidence, painful shame, and a deep inferiority complex about everything. That dark mountain of inferiority was driving her life almost into a swamp of ruin. She was extremely afraid of trying anything new or different. When her young, energetic friends went dancing or swimming, when they skated or skied on dazzling snowfields, or when they left for fun parties or trips, she had to stay alone, into her dark house, crushed by the overwhelming presence of the massive mountain. She lived completely isolated, despising herself, as if trapped inside a hard clamshell. However, one day, into a place of Bible study and earnest prayer, that she started seeking true understanding, a brilliant light permeated her soul. That light was none other than the overwhelming realization that she was God's most precious child who received special grace. The spiritual compass of the Lord's word turned her gaze away from the corruptible worldly inferiority toward the unchanging love of the Lord. She did not try to leap over that massive mountain all at once. Holding only a small faith the size of a mustard seed, she fully trusted the word that Jesus said he could do it, and she began to move. At first, she removed a fear the size of a very small pebble. Next, she cleared away a shame the size of a fist-sized stone. And finally, she began to move the mountain of self-despair into chunks the size of massive rocks. As she sweated to move the pebbles, the one who threw the entire mountain into the sea was none other than our faithful Lord Jesus Christ. Beloved, what is the mountain of despair blocking your path right now? Are you giving up beforehand because it seems impossible to cross, hiding inside the shell of your circumstances and limitations, trembling into anxiety alone? Today, break out of that clamshell of fear and remember the Lord's love that called us with special grace. Stop the vain effort of despairing while looking at the massiveness of the mountain and begin to move the pebbles of faith called the word and prayer one by one into the place of life given to you today. Although the beginning may look small and humble, your obedience the size of a mustard seed will ultimately achieve the great miracle of victory, making the massive mountain a plain and throwing it into the sea. Meditation and application. The first meditation is breaking the clamshell that traps me. In front of what kind of mountain am I making myself feel small and staying trapped inside a clamshell right now? Am I perhaps falling into an inferiority complex and shame by comparing myself to the world's standards? Such self-despair is not a heart given by God. Starting today, engraving the unchanging truth into my heart that I am God's precious child who received special grace, let us resolve to completely shatter the shell of all negative thoughts and fears towards myself before the cross. The second meditation is moving my share of pebbles today. Am I perhaps easily getting exhausted and giving up because of the greed and calculation to move a massive mountain all at once? How can I practice the faith the size of a mustard seed that Jesus wants? Today, let us start the small obedience that we had put off while only looking for a grandiose miracle right before our eyes. Instead of relying on my own wisdom and ability, go to the place of prayer and try practicing the holy labor of first moving a small pebble called anxiety or inferiority complex into my heart before the Lord.